Down the rabbit hole we tumble once again, to a place you remember, but have never truly been, where dim moonlight shines on an age long gone by, where stranger things are happening, and you very well may die. A wonderland unlike any you've ever seen before, captured by a darkness that will shake you to the core. Time is running out. The light is almost gone. Will you become a queen or perish as a pawn? Welcome to Building Wonderland, Nightmares and Dreamscapes.
Good afternoon and welcome to Building Wonderland. My name is Kyle Shaw, co-founder and head creative of Creative Catastrophe Games and the designer behind Wonderland, Nightmares and Dreamscapes. If you found this channel, you're either already into D&D, a fan of Wonderland, or you've tripped over the algorithm and have no idea what you're looking at. Regardless, we're glad you found us. Now, Wonderland, Nightmares and Dreamscapes is a serialized competitive campaign and complete TTRPG world built on 5.5e, launching on Kickstarter later this year. And what you'll see on Building Wonderland is something virtually unheard of. We're going to show you how we're designing this world in real time. We're building 14 module covers, a host of Wonderland characters, and a full cast of supporting art for this dark fantasy survival horror scavenger hunt, and you get to see it all live. Now, this series and its live stream exists for one reason: to show you exactly how the visuals for this game get designed. Not the highlight reel, not the finished product with the dramatic music behind it, the actual work. Every layer, every decision, every dead end, pivot, and course correction. From the very first click to the moment I finally say, that's it, we've got it. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. I'm a professional graphic designer with 20 plus years of experience. I've designed material and content for Grammy Award winning recording artists all over the world, national, international universities, and have worked with hundreds of small businesses and startups across the country. I can illustrate by hand, I can source and composite traditional artwork, I can even draft an entire house plan with just a mechanical pencil and a ruler. But my primary means of design is digital, utilizing tools like Photoshop and Illustrator to create material that most people would need an entire team for. So I also use AI. I'm not using AI because I'm not skilled enough to make the art or because I don't want to hire a team of illustrators to create all of it for me. AI is part of our process because I'm one of two people building a 500 plus page, 14 module campaign with nearly 100 characters, 30 twisted treasures, another 500 plus page field guide of mad monsters, complete with battle maps, minis, dice, and more. And utilizing AI allows us to move at a pace that'll put Wonderland on your doorstep in half the time. That seems worth it to us. What does that actually look like? Watch the series. Put it on the background while you work or clean the house. I've been told it's great for that. Join us behind the scenes as we show you how we think the future of TTRPGs is going to look. You won't want to miss it. Now, one quick note before we start. The original audio for this first episode had a technical issue that made the commentary basically unusable. So I've condensed the footage and I'm going to walk you through how our process works while we watch the cover for Module 2 of Wonderland, Nightmares and Dreamscapes get started. Thanks for checking us out. Let's get into it. So as I mentioned a few moments ago, let's talk about what my design process for Wonderland looks like in practice. First, let's dispel the obvious. No, I'm not just typing in "make me an image of the Mad Hatter," taking whatever it spits out and slapping it into a module with no editing, no changes, and no additional construction. That is ridiculous and shady as shit. For those of us on the front lines that use these applications every day, we're incredibly aware that what AI is actually able to do is much less accurate, useful, and corner-cutting than the AI companies have led the public to believe. In our process, AI simply replaces the step that is usually reserved for digging through stacks of stock images and clip art sites and or digitally illustrating the raw pieces of the image before putting everything together. These builds can be layers on layers on layers, days and weeks of design, manual corrections, compositing, typography, color theory, branding and style cohesion, and yes, even magic tricks. Regardless of what scene or character we're creating, we always start with the original. Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass are the foundation of everything we create. Whatever canon exists for a particular character or location, sometimes just a lot, sometimes it's just a single sentence, we begin there. We then layer on top of that canon our version of Wonderland, our original storyline, the current state of affairs in the once whimsical land, and how the darkness that has permeated this world has affected whomever, whatever, and wherever is being created. My partner, Philip Bishop, the game master and mechanical mind behind Wonderland's intricate and suspenseful campaign, as well as all the characters and locations you'll see in Wonderland, builds their backstory, stat blocks, location information, and encounters utilizing his 20 plus years as a DM and mountains of world building experience. We discuss, edit to the death, and then ask the question, what does this look like? Once we have a concept, I figure out how to break it into pieces that Midjourney can handle producing. One of the fundamental rules of working with generative AI is that you can't get too complicated in one request because it's only going to pay attention to about 40% of the information you gave it before it goes rogue. Instead of dealing with multiple sources, only finding kind of what I'm looking for, and adding a bunch of extra steps to my workload, I build a prompt with the help of GPT because it speaks Midjourney fairly well for each piece that I need, and usually end up with higher fidelity and custom to purpose material to use for the sourcing step of my process. What you're watching right now is that process. Me, GPT, and Midjourney working together to create the brick exterior of a late 19th century estate with a couple of windows as the base for this scene. The concept for this cover was a view of the outside of the Duchess's house, a glimpse of the goings-on through the windows of the once stately manor, and quite possibly the Duchess herself. This is the very beginning of what turned out to be over 100 individual layers by the time this cover was finished. Once I iterate with Midjourney the piece I'm looking for, that gets placed into Photoshop and edited from there. Some of that editing is manual using the tools that have existed in Photoshop for decades, and some of it is simple generative commands like remove object or remove background, which most people are now seeing in their photo applications on their smartphones. This cover takes approximately 25 hours of design time across the episodes that follow, including all the prompting, generating, editing, compositing, and intricate detail work you'll only see live. Does it always take that long? Not really, because every design is different. Some get knocked out in 1 or 2 episodes, and others take weeks. There's no timeline when you're creating, not really. We work until it's done. This particular cover will take you all the way to episode 10, where we start the cover for module 3, and is by far the most intricate cover I've done so far. Over the course of this series, you'll get to watch as every piece of a final image is built, and listen in as I walk you through the design decisions and the actual creation of Wonderland, Nightmares, and Dreamscapes, along with some wild stories from my life, design knowledge, and a few special guests to keep it spicy. If you'd like to watch it happen live, head over to my Twitch channel, the link is in our bio up top, every day of the work week from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and watch the chaos unfold live. Stay tuned right here to our YouTube channel for daily episodes as we ramp up to our upcoming Kickstarter release later this year. If you'd like to be notified automatically when Wonderland, Nightmares, and Dreamscapes becomes available, click the link for our pre-launch Kickstarter in our bio, check out the page, and hit Notify Me. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoy Wonderland, Nightmares, and Dreamscapes.